All right, so 4-3, first thing we need to do is we need to sing happy birthday to Madeline. So, let's go. Sydney starts.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Madeline. Happy birthday to you. That was so fantastic.
All right, so if you guys like that song, please like and subscribe. No. Okay. All right, guys, solving linear quadratic systems. For the most part, we're dealing with parabolas, but it doesn't need to be. It could be a line and a circle. It could be a line and a hyperbola. It could be a line and an ellipse. It could be a line and a parabola. Any one of these combinations. We're talking about linear quadratic, so a line and some sort of conic. Some sort of conic, which is just a curved shape of some sort. Are we okay? What's with the pencils swapping around over there? Okay. So we're going to talk about, we're just going to, for right here, even though I put, if you're given a line and a conic, how many times can they cross each other? We're going to deal with just a parabola right now because the answers are pretty much the same. So if I have a line, any line, and a parabola, how many times could they cross? Twice, sure. Twice. How many times could they cross? Once. How many times could they cross? 0. They could they could cross once, twice, or never. Okay. Oh, when I said Christ, it wasn't with a T at the end. I was actually combining the words cross and twice because the word was already going through my head.
So Christ with a C.
Yes.
But what's Jesus' middle name?
Okay. Sydney. Not what we're going with right now. Yes. Sydney, you are distracted today. Okay.
Sorry, bro. My brain has just been very imaginative.
So, Sydney, when we are graphing, we need to get both of our equations into a standard form. And then, so that means if it's a parabola, we know our standard forms of a parabola. Y equals a times x minus h squared plus k, or x equals a times y minus k plus h squared plus h, right? Or we get our circle, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, right? And then we have the standard equation of a line, which we haven't looked at in a couple of chapters. What's the standard equation of a line, Martina? What is the standard equation of a line? No? You'll know it. Florian? No? Tim? Standard equation of a line. That's not if it's squared, it's not a line.
Oh wait, that's slope.
That is. Y equals mx plus b. Okay. Okay. Mx plus b. B. As in boy. Okay. Okay. So you probably do P as well? Yeah. Px plus Q? That's fine. All right. So M is our slope, or P is our slope, or whatever else is our slope. Shay, let's get off the phone. Let's focus. You were absent yesterday too, though today's a new lesson. All right. So if we get them into standard form, we graph, we see where they cross. That's the solution. Substitution steps are what I'm more interested in. We can hopefully do the other ones. We'll get our practice in our workbook as soon as I'm done going over this. So substitution steps. There are 5 steps here that I've written. It doesn't mean that it's some sort of memorization thing here, guys. Solve your linear equation for a variable. That's usually the easiest place to start with. Solve your linear equation for either x or y. Your choice. Substitute that value into your quadratic. Solve your quadratic equation. And I put, you're probably going to use the quadratic formula. Most of you probably aren't going to default to completing the square. And then substitute the value found back into your linear, write the coordinate that you found. It's very simple. So we're going to take this example right here. Y equals 3x squared plus 21x minus 5, and negative 10x plus y equals negative 1. And we're going to solve it using substitution. So we're going to take our linear equation, and we're going to solve for a variable. What's the easiest variable to solve for on that? Y. That's a pretty choral answer. Yeah, I would have called you on, Gabrielle, but people started answering, okay? So we have negative 10x plus y equals negative 1. Gabrielle, go ahead and solve for y for me on that.
Or you can add 10x both sides.
I'll go with the easier way. Okay? And Tim, you don't need to sound so condescending when you say it.
Well, if I want to be condescending.
Well, then don't.
Gabriel, maybe you shouldn't email Mr.
But what do you call it?
No, Tim shouldn't email me. He's the one who doesn't know how to speak right now. Aw. Okay. Tim shouldn't email anyways. He could just like go to the next door and be like, Dad. No, not really. No, we don't really. Not much. Why do you think I have a bunker?
You have this like big old screen laptop thingamajig. You got like this mic. Why wouldn't you have a bunker?
All right. Because those are commensurate. All right, guys. We've... Sydney. Stephanie. We've solved for y. Are we good?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to take this value, and I'm going to substitute it for y in that equation. So now I've got 10x minus 1 equals 3x squared plus 21x minus 5. If I want to solve using the quadratic formula, what do I want this whole thing to equal?
0.
0. So let's get it to equal 0. What will I do to get it to equal 0? Subtract 10x. What else? Add 1. So I get 0 equals 3x squared plus 11x minus 4. Now I just use the quadratic formula to solve for x. Dividing by 3 would be if I wanted to complete the square, which this would be an ugly problem to complete the square, dude. Ooh. X equals negative b. All right. There's our quadratic formula right there.
I remember that because of the song.
All right. So what is my A?
Your A is 3.
My A is 3. What's my B?
11.
What's my C?
4.
Negative 4. Okay. All right, let's do it. X equals negative 11 plus or minus the square root of 11 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 4 all over 2 times 3.
Okay.
These problems are easy-ish, but not short.
Okay.
You really feel okay there, huh, Alexa?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay.
It sounded like how I was like picking you on Mario Kart and like picking you up.
Okay. Woo. 11 squared is 122.
121 plus 48. You guys can double check my math,
Yeah.
especially Gabrielle. He should be double checking my math every step of the way.
And then he's gonna say anything, he's just gonna email you.
Then email me. Mr. Bates at 10:21 a.m. You made an error. You're dumb. At 10:21 a.m. you were dumb. That's it. He doesn't even like tell me what went wrong. Just you were dumb.
You done
All right. 121 plus 48, we get 169. That is 13 squared, yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, would you divide 11 by 13?
We can't divide yet, so we get negative 11 plus or minus 13 over 6. I'm tired of scrolling. I'm going to continue this right up here. So what's negative 11 plus 13? 2 over 6, which is a third. And then we have negative 11 minus 13. So how many times does this line cross the parabola? Twice. The problem is we need, and when a line is crossing a parabola, it crosses it at two what? 2 points. And points have what kind of values to them? X and Y. What do I have here? I only have X values. I need to find my Y values. That's why, so I want you guys to understand there is more and why there is more. Okay? So, I'm going to take, guys, plug it into the easier one. The easier one is the line, most often. The line is negative 10x, or sorry, the line is y equals 10x minus 1. So I take that x value, I plug it in. So I have 10 thirds minus 1. One of the x's was 1/3, so I plugged that in. Stephanie. I've got to do both. I'll have to do both. So right here we're going to get 10 thirds minus 3/3, which is 7/3. And then I've got y equals 10 times negative 4 minus 1. One last minor step. I just plugged my x values. I substituted my x values back into my original line equation. Substituted my x values into my original line equation. Got my y values. Please list the coordinates as the final solution. So we've got 1/3, comma 7/3, and we have negative 4, comma negative 41. It's long, Samuel, not necessarily hard. Yeah, we'll graph it, but I'm not going to graph negative 4, comma negative 41. I'll use some software really quick, and we'll show that that's where it crosses. We will use Desmos. Because this is 1 is 3 over 3. I just used to get a common denominator. Those are for hanging it on a hanger so it doesn't fall off. That's what those are for.
Wait, what? Then wouldn't 10 be multiplied by 3 also?
No, because it's already multiplying. It's not adding.
Oh, okay. So just to get the same denominator, you multiply.
Yeah. This is already multiplying. That's 10 thirds. This is a subtraction, though, so in order to subtract it, I need to get a common denominator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Military. Yeah. Okay, guys. So what was our first equation?
Y equals 3x squared plus 21x minus 5. And then negative 10x plus y equals negative 1.
Y equals 10x minus 1?
Yeah. No, wait.
So I just put in the second. Okay. All right. So we can see here. Let me go ahead and zoom. So we see our line is in blue, our parabola is in red, and Stephanie's on her phone. Florian. Okay. Lines in blue, parabolas in red. Where do they cross at? So we can actually, I'm gonna have to zoom in on that one. But -4, -41 is one of the places that they cross at. And here I don't know which one's the cross, so let's go ahead and let me take a look at it. Okay, right there, 1/3, 2 1/3. So, okay. So that's what we are finding.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
the process for the most part. Now the graphing ones are really obnoxious. I want you guys to get some practice on your homework assignment when you guys go to do it. But at some point, some of the ones that are a little bit more crazy with the way they've set it up, you know, you can just jump into Desmos or something, all right? So, but I want to see a couple of them done. I'll do them all using, no, I'll do them all by hand personally, but on the video. But you guys don't have to. Get your workbook out. Let's get them into standard form. The top equation. The top equation on this problem is a what?
Quadratic formula.
It's a quadratic. What kind of quadratic?
Equation.
It's a parabola. Quit second guessing yourself. It's okay. All right? The top equation is a parabola. Let's make it look like the appropriate equation for a parabola. So what am I going to do? Why? Plus what? Aquí elevado 2. Okay. So I've got y equals x squared minus 4.
Why can't you speak
He did. Why can't I speak Mexican? That would be a terrible thing to say. Alrighty. Well, there's French Canadian. Now the other one, it's a line. How do I get that into, what am I going to do? Same thing, basically, right? Going to add 2x to both sides. Well, that's when it comes to solving graphically. I had 2 steps, get them both into standard form so you know what they look like graphically. So this is a standard parabola. This is going all the way back to, I think, 3-1. 3-1, we didn't have necessarily an h value. We didn't shift them left or right. Back in 3-1, we only shifted them up and down. So this is just a parabola shifted down 4. This is a line with a slope of 2, and it goes through where on the y-axis? -1. Okay? Slope of 2 goes through -1 on the y-axis. This is a parabola shifted down 4. We should draw the parabola first. So more than likely what we should also do is, if we have to draw our own xy axis, let's give ourselves a little bit more room on bottom since we've got to shift that parabola down 4, right? So let's go ahead and, wait, what? We've got to draw our own xy coordinate on this, don't we? Yeah. You have a grid on yours. It's right in front of you.
I know mine's already screwed.
So I'm drawing the parabola first. I'm drawing the parabola first. So the vertex is right there at 0, -4, and then I go out 1, up.
2. Or out 1, up 1, up 2, up 4. I mean, out 2, up 4.
Out 1, up 1, then Alexa's correct. Out 2, up 4. We've learned this. Out 3, up what, Samuel? 9. So you've learned that.
It's not going all the way up.
But this is also the parabola, not the line right now, Samuel. You guys making fun of his name for some reason?
No one likes him. People aren't used to calling me Sam.
Oh.
Yeah, we call him Sam.
I call him Ben.
All right. There's my best horrible parabola. Okay. Now
And now we draw the other.
we draw the line. Okay, goes through -1,
-1 is
goes up 2 over 1. Don't forget the slope is up, rise over run, up 2 over 1. How many times does this line cross the parabola?
Twice.
Twice. What are my 2 points that it crosses at?
-1, -3.
-1, -3 is one solution. What's the other solution?
+3, up 8.
3, 8. Sure. No.
3,
5?
wrong.
3, 5?
2, 3, 4, 5.
What? 6, actually.
Because
6?
1, 2,
1, 2,
4,
up.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
5. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was counting from the bottom. That was 2.
Ah.
It's 8.
Yes, no?
Yes.
Questions on this? Alexa's all over this, so I'm not going to let, she can't determine for the class whether or not we're all good, because she's all good. Gansky's good? Think you're good, Samuel? Why don't you guys try out number 2?
Now you're asking too much.
Try number 2 on your own.
Oh, this one looks hard.
Yeah, but number 2 is different than number 1.
Oh, how different could it be?
It's pretty different.
All right, 1 second. Oh, I see. Because you guys, well, you have to do, you have to complete the square on it. I'll even show you guys yet another way to complete the square. Hold on, somebody wanted to see number 1 still.
I can do this.
So Madeline, you're what, 13 now? 12? Okay. Nope. You guys, every time I have a student, you're always the age that you were when I first started teaching you. 12. Oh, you're 12. 12? All right, you're 12. It is crazy.
17 game.
Yep. I have taught you 25% of your life. When the school was a little smaller and I was ASB director, I had ACE and RMS ASB were the same class. They wasn't split into 2. And so I had ASB students from 7th grade to 12th grade. I had them for a third of their life by the time they graduated. There were quite a few of them who had a lot of my mannerisms because of the fact that I was like just so much a part of their life. So, okay. Michael, I just wish it was a little bit more positively.
Sometimes I'm a little stressed because of you.
Well, I think it's more my subject matter than me. I hope I'm not personally making you stressed. Okay. So we're talking about completing the square on this one. Guys, let's keep y on one side all by its lonesome and move everything else over.
Okay, that's easy.
So everything else is going to change signs when I move it over. Okay, I'm not going to put the minuses and all that on this. So y, it helps if I'm in writing mode. Y equals positive x squared minus 4x plus 6.
Well, that was cool.
Yeah, you just change all this.
And this one, I'm just going to move the x over, so this one's y equals negative x plus 4. Because I just moved them all to this side, so I'm going to add x squared to both sides, subtract 4x to both sides, add 6 to both sides. If you move it to the other side, yeah. Well, as long as it's using by subtraction or addition, then yes. If you're dividing or multiplying to move it to the side, then no.
Yeah, why does class seem a little long? I mean, it's not bad.
It seems really. I'm running out of time. So here, on this one, I'm going to complete the square. What's half of 4?
2.
Okay, so this is going to be y equals x squared minus 4x plus 2 squared plus 6 minus 2 squared. Don't know why my voice broke. Yeah. This is my inner Shaggy coming out. Yeah.
Raggy?
Who's the Scooby Doo to your Shaggy?
Who's this?
Is that Mr.
Like, I don't know, man.
I love
Okay.
I miss Scooby.
Okay, we have 6 minus 4.
Like Fred.
Okay, now you guys have it in vertex form, so you should be able to,
Oh.
you know, the vertex just looking at it.
I got it now.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Yeah, so my vertex of this upward-facing parabola is 2, 2. And now I have my line. You guys in the next 2 minutes can finish it off. I'll post this video later. Oh,
What is
it's to the right, 2 and up 2.
6? I should have gave myself
Minus 4.
Wait, how do I know the distance? Then wouldn't it just be a standard parabola, just up?
Gansky? Oh, I don't know either. I haven't graphed it yet. Yeah.
If you're adding 2 squared to one side, wouldn't it be adding 5? Why would you be subtracting 2 squared?
So instead of adding it to both sides, I could add it and subtract it from the same side, and it still cancels itself out.
Wait, Mr. Bates, then we went
I don't understand your guys' question. Oh, I didn't write this. That's 4. That's negative 4. Sorry. That's positive 4. That's negative 4. So that minus is not being squared. Just the 2 is. Just the 2 is. Which is why I emphasize parentheses so much to my students, because it makes a big difference which one you're looking at. That's what they were just talking about. That's not negative 2 squared. That's minus 2 squared. The minus is not being squared. Guys, bring me your homework tomorrow. Don't give them to me now. Sorry about that.
You know what's weird?
Here, I'll take yours just for you.
You know what animals are like? You know what insect is really nasty? A cricket. Cricket's terrifying. Grasshoppers are evolving. They're starting to fly.
Stephanie, you got all sorts of trash by your foot too.